Yeah, hi traders. Welcome to the week ahead. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Um, we know that this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. I do not give financial advice, and you take full responsibility for any decisions you make regarding any information that's shared in this video, and you don't hold me accountable for any of the information shared. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. Aussie CAD, there's nothing here, and I just want to reiterate that patience is really key, and discipline. And we're looking at the daily time frame, and we can see here that we've had a bit of an uptrend on the Aussie CAD. Looking at it now for the last 3 weeks, we've had nothing but sideways movement. Now this range is around about 121 pips. Now you can go down to smaller time frames and you can try to trade it, but I find that this is the area where people just get beaten up, and they try to trade these things on smaller time frames, and nothing happens. And they try to trade these small ranges, and this is where they get beaten up. This is I just use this as my baseline here. You can use any moving average you like. You can I've got a Nikkei Mochu template that I use that has, I just use one line of that indicator. I've wiped everything else off it, and when the market's above this for me just reminds me, just helps me to stay disciplined that we're in an uptrend, and if I'm going to take any trades, I'm looking for positions to get in long. So once it crosses this, we're going long, and this would be a classic. You just place a pending order in above, a 4-hour candle if it's broken, or even an hourly. But I take all my information off higher time frames, daily, weekly, monthly, and we've just crawled on up here. So there are pips to be made if you're sensible. Now there's nothing here for me, so there's no trade, and until we get a breakout of this range and a good candle formation, then I aren't trading this pair. Aussie Swiss, I was just playing around with I guess an ascending wedge, just having a look at it out of curiosity and boredom. I don't trade that, but trend lines I do. So we can see here that we've just got a box of sideways movement, and there's nothing here, and until okay, we've had a break here, but we haven't broken this area here, and until I get a close above this line, I would not consider taking it north, and so there's no trade. Aussie JPY, we've been stuck. I left this old entry in from 3 weeks ago. This was the trade. Broke a beautiful area. At the time, I remember talking to you saying 72 is the area to watch. We get a close above here, off we go. And there's nothing to stop you from going down and checking out to see if you've got an entry on a 4-hour or hourly. And everything's lined up. But since then, we've come back down here, and we're just going sideways. So right now, no trade. Aussie New Zealand, no trade. A lot of this stuff is just happening like that. There's a number of pairs that are just sideways. Now you can play around and try to trade within these ranges, but for me, this is where traders get beaten up. And even though we've broken this baseline here, there's nothing. I just look left, and you can see key areas where prices reacted before, and until I get it closed below here in a good bearish candle formation, there's no trade. Aussie USD. very similar. There's a lot of rhetoric out there suggesting that we're going higher on the Aussie, and then there's just as much rhetoric out there saying that we're going low. But here's the range, and it's just a matter of being patient. We are in a uptrend at the moment. If you go to the weekly, you'll see that we're probably still in a downtrend. So until you get a break out of these areas, just stay on the sidelines. I'm not going to try and trade in here. For me, it's just not worth it. This is where you get beaten up. There's a couple of hundred pips in there. And in current market conditions, it's just very, very difficult. These pairs will move again, so be patient. CAD Swiss. Similar thing, there's no trade. They've got to break out of these levels here. You can see where prices reacted, so stay patient. CAD JPY, exactly the same. We can bring this down into here. Let me just take this off. Yes. And you can see this is a key area of resistance, and until it breaks, until it breaks above this line, then I am just going to stay out and wait, because there's going to come a day sooner or later when it gets going again. Is this reversal here? We've had the first push up. We could say we've had a retest, and now we're waiting for a breakout of here. That is one possibility. Until the market confirms that opinion, it's only just an opinion. Swissy JPY, I'm not trading this at the moment because it's pretty much two very similar currencies, and you can see that this is a real key top. It hasn't been able to break up there, so until it does, I'm not interested. Euro AUD, it's been sitting down here now for a couple of weeks, and this was the trade, and you can see now, once it got down in here at the beginning of June, it's just stayed down here. To get a decent move up, we have to break this level. I need to see it break my baseline, and I need to see it break out of here. If I get a good bearish formation, I will do this. I will try and go south with it. Euro CAD, much the same. This is where we get beaten up. Now you've got about 200 pips in here that you're working with. You can try it, but for me, I'd just rather stay out of the market and be patient and wait, because I know that we're going to get another move sooner or later. There's going to be a move one way or the other. Euro Swissy, this is the key level, 107 for me. If I get a close above here, I'll be taking it north, and if I get another push down, I probably will leave it alone. But here's historic lows. I'm going to be taking this. I mean, I took it from down here. A nice trade. I expect the same to happen again, and I will wait for those opportunities to come to me. This was a key level a couple of weeks ago, and we got a little bit of a trade, but it just came back down into here, and what you've got here, you've probably got you've got a couple of hundred pips in here as well. So you could have actually traded back down and got a little scalp there if you wanted to. There are opportunities. But now I'm just expecting more sideways and looking for an opportunity one way or the other. Euro JPY. This was the trade down here, but once it got up here, it could not carry on. And you can see back here, looking left, that these were levels. This level that it got to was key, where price reacted in the past, and it's quite a strong level. And so, what's going to happen? Are we going to get a break? I think that 122 is the key level. I'm just staying out of it. Euro ZD. Again, very similar to the Euro AUD. Unless I get a break of this level, I'm leaving it alone. off here, if it got down here, you can see price has reacted at this level before. And it's just common sense, you can't get rich overnight. And we're in for the long game. Play the long game. If I get a bounce off here, a good bullish signal, I would be prepared to have a go at it. And I just cut my lot sizes down, enter small, but this is the key level. If it's going to go north, we need to take this area out here. Euro USD. Doesn't matter what patterns you got. We're stuck between 113 and 112. Until we get a break out of here, I don't think this pair's going anywhere. Pound AUD. A lot of the pound pairs, they've had their little breaks down, and we got a little break last week before last down here, but since then it just looks like it's going sideways. If I get a break below here, I would try my hand again. This technically could be due for a decent pullback. We could get a pullback in up and around this range here, and then if it forms under my baseline and gives me a good bearish signal, I would have another crack at coming back down and retesting these areas. That's something I'm keeping an eye on. Pound caddy, just stuck in no man's land. Again, the key level is 1.70. Pound Swiss, this is the historical low down here. If we get it close below this and it's obvious that the pound is weakening, and I'll use my strength indicator to let me know whether it is or not, I would attempt a bear trade on this pair. By the end of the year, hopefully all this Brexit rubbish will be sorted out. Pound JPY, it gets down here, makes a move up. That's the trade, and I'm prepared to wait. If it takes another 2 or 3 weeks to launch from here, so be it. If this is going to go higher, it could make up a move here. It needs to take out this area in here. You can see it. But I'll be very cautious if I do decide to take a trade. And I would look for a retest of this area up in here. That would be my plan. I'm not sure that we can get it. There's quite a bit of volatility going on with the Japanese yen at the moment. Again, pound ZE. I looked at this morning when the market opened, and it looks tempting. And we've definitely been in a downtrend. But it's just, for me to have an entry now, this is a key level of 191. I had marked in on my trading platform as a key level. And until I get a close below there and a signal to go, I'm not going. And you can see we've broken it. And so when you see a key level broken like this, you can go down to the 4 hour and have a look at it. And there's no convincing candles there. So unless I get an engulfing candle, something like this here, and it takes out this area just in here, that's something that I'm looking at this week. If those scenarios happen, I will get in south on this pair. I'll keep you posted in the chat room. Pound USD, just again, a lot of sideways movement. We had a nice move up with a re-break of this level here. It's moved back down, but it hasn't gone anywhere. It couldn't break this 125 area and hold. And it looks like we're just going to get locked in this range again between 124 and 125. If we get way down here, beautiful chance for another trade north. If I get a break, south and there's definite weakness coming through in the pound, and you'd notice it on your other pound crosses, I would be looking to get in with a break of this. No, I'm just going to reframe. This for me is the key level. Unless I get a break below here, I'm not going to touch it. There's only 100 pips, 150 odd pips in here. It's just not worth it. New Zealand USD. Just, you know, it's mucking about. You know, we've taken out, it inched and crawled. A lot of indecision candles up above 65, and this is a key area here. It's got to take this out right in here at 65.50. If we're going higher, it needs to close above here. We could just come up, retest. It's just not worth getting involved here. New Zealand CAD. I am still holding this. I've been in this one since this level here. Break this key level. I spoke about that key level. This is the one trade that I'm in at the moment, and I'm holding. I can't lose it. I've got my profits protected. I've got my first position off, and I am going to wait. If I get a break of this level here and it close, I may well add to it. This is a 189 I'm looking at is the key number for this pair. It's way up in here. If this could just stop this trade, but if you get a break of this little area here, I will look to maybe just add to it and target this 189. I think it's a real key area, and if we crunch this up, you can see right in here it is here, 189. You can see price reacted in here again. So there could be room for another little move up. Like I said, I've got my profits protected, and I'm just happy to hold that trade. I can't lose it. New Zealand Swissy. There's nothing here. 162 area is very key. So until we get it closed above there, I would not attempt again. New Zealand JPY, here was the opportunity for a little trade, a little scalp for a retest of 72 area. Not a lot of pips in it, but there was a little bit of strength showing in the New Zealand dollar on early in the week last week, and then it just started to show a little bit of upward movement again on Wednesday, and it's continued up. That could well be a scalping opportunity. How many pips? No, well, yeah. I will look at that. After I've done the video, I'll go back and assess that. But there could be a scalping opportunity there you might like to look at. You know, we've got about 30, 40, 50 pips trading into 71 there, and looking at that, that is an area where prices reacted before in the past. Look at this, see? So you got to be careful with these things, but it could be worth a little scalp today. 75 pips. There's something that might be of interest. Go and check it out for yourselves. USD CAD, again, you know, no trade. You know, a break of this, I would like to see this come down here. I'm really interested to trade it off the bottom here again. I don't know. I mean, there's quite a few pips in here if it closes below 135, which is just in here. And there's only 200 pips, but that could be an opportunity there. That's one that I've got my eye on this week. Just excuse me for a minute. I've got an alarm going off. There we go, we got rid of it. Oh, we thought we got rid of it. I'll just get rid of these, sorry about that. That's got them all out of the way. Yep. Okay. Nothing here with the USD Swissy. Unless it breaks below here, there's not a trade on for me to go south, but I would consider going north again on it, but I'd have to see some strength in the US dollar. US JPY, nothing doing there. It's just locked in between 108, 107, so patience. Got to see a breakout. That was the trade back down. That was the trade back up. And you've just got to be patient, and you've just got to wait. You know, like I've said often in the chat room, when the market's like this, it's a great opportunity to fine-tune your strategy, to test it, to change things that need to be changed. But there's nothing here. I definitely would consider taking a trade south if I saw a lot of weakness in the US dollar if it broke this level. Now, gold. It's just mucking about. Looks like it's going sideways. It looks like it's going to have a crack at 1.8 at 1800. And I'm seriously considering taking a trade. I've got a pending order consideration just up here. I haven't put it in yet, but I'm looking at possibly putting that in today and just taking a look at that and try to trade it up to 1800. I'd just be very careful with it. I'll only be taking a couple of small lot sizes. Silver, this 1800 is a real key. If we get a good close and a bullish signal here, I will try again. I did last week and got stopped out, didn't lose much money. Let's just have a look at the dollar index. And you can see that we're just going sideways. There's no real conviction. And we'll just take a look at the weekly chart on it. Yeah, we're just going sideways. These are the key levels here. Another move above 98 could see some decent strength in the US dollar. And again, I want to reiterate, if we see a close, we've seen a break below here before, but if we see a close below these levels, I'm going to be watching pairs like the Aussie, New Zealand and Canadian and Swiss dollar against the US and the Japanese yen. If we start to move down here, there's got to be some good opportunities. So there you have it. I'm sorry that I can't make, you know, I'm not going to pull rabbits out of the hat. It's a very difficult market, and you need to have some very defined boundaries and disciplines to trade it successfully. Protecting your capital, don't overtrade your account, take your little profits when they're there, because we're not getting the big runs that we'd love to see. And I will keep you posted with what I'm doing. I'm going to run a couple of short little videos on how I've been doing the London breakout, but even that's starting to dry up quite a bit, and it's changed to what it was last month. So it's not as easy, but I'm going to run a series of little videos on how I do the London breakout, and I will put them in the chat room. I'll just drop them in there. They're only going to be short 5 to 10 minute videos, and please have a look at them. You might find them useful. You're not getting opportunities every Frankfurt or London Open, but I have managed to pick up a few nickels and dimes, and sometimes, you know, 50 or 60 pips here and there, once or twice a week. So there you have it. Take care out there. Please stay safe. Keep yourself safe with the virus, and keeping your distancing and washing your hands and all of that stuff. I don't think the worst is over yet. So take care out there, stay safe, you and your families, and I wish you well this week with some good pip hunting. Cheers.